So Paul and I co-founded Claris Healthcare in 2012, and launched into it again.
So what specifically drove the story behind Claris? Because you've told me the story about the breast milk bank and also all the errors made in identifying samples or even transfusions with Neoteric. What drove the foundational idea or the solution Claris provides?
Yeah, no, that's really interesting because, having had the experience of Neoteric, where we went out and threw a whole lot of things at the wall and waited until something stuck, and that ended up being blood transfusion, but that is certainly not where we started. We had no idea we were building a blood transfusion company when we started. Another story. But Claris, we said, okay, let's do this properly. Let's sit down and define what we're going to do before we start building prototypes and wasting money. So we said, okay, what is the biggest problem facing healthcare today in 2012? What's the biggest problem facing healthcare? And we very consistently got an answer from everybody that an aging population is breaking our healthcare system. And that was true 10 years ago. It's even more true today. Problem is that our healthcare system is designed around acute interventions for generally healthy younger people, where you can put them in a hospital bed, cure them, and send them home. So it's an interventional kind of approach, which is based around these very expensive facilities where you minimize the time they're in and you send them home. The trouble with an aging population is there's not acute problems that they suffer from. It's multiple chronic conditions that they will die with, that need to be managed. They can't be cured. So the whole idea of taking somebody with a chronic condition, putting them in a hospital bed, and leaving them there until they're cured, well, it's basically a death sentence, and it's going to be so expensive, you're going to bankrupt the whole healthcare system. So that approach is just totally wrong. So the upshot is everyone's saying, well, we got to move care for our aging population and people with chronic conditions out of institutional setting and into the home setting. People have to stay at home and age in place and be safe and be looked after and all that, but outside of the institutional setting. So that was the challenge. So we said, okay, we're smart guys. So we went around, we interviewed a whole lot of people and said, one question, what is it that causes you to make that terrible decision to uproot a senior from their home and put them into some kind of care or institution? And what can we do to delay that by a week, a year, a month, some period of time? We got two consistent answers. The first one was around medication compliance, and this stunning statistic. In the province of British Columbia, 40% of hospital admissions for people over the age of 50 are medication related. Just a crazy percentage. So we said, oh, okay, let's take a look at that. And well, we went and looked at that, and there's little companies like Philips and General Electric and big
tiny companies,
doing all sorts of stuff in medication compliance. And he said, there's probably not much we can add there. Turns out later on that I found there was a way we can add that. But at that time, we said, not much we can do there. So we said, well, what else is there? We had this wonderful conversation with the hospitals at Victoria General, where he said, I'm at the tail end of an inexorable process for a senior living on their own. If they get in trouble, they dial 911. 911 operator, they send the paramedics. The paramedics, they scoop them up and they bring them to emergency room. Emergency room puts them in a bed, and I finally get to talk to this person. He said, I can tell you that more than 90% of the times, if I'd been monitoring this patient and seen the trend, and had been able to provide them with timely, relevant self-care information, we could have avoided all this. We didn't need to do all of this. They could have looked after themselves in their own home. So being techie guys, Paul and I whipped out our iPhones and said, FaceTime, problem solved. There you go. Just give him an iPhone, that'll do it. And this guy said, here's the aha moment. He said, yeah, my mom's 85 years old. She phones me up every time she wants to turn on the TV because she can't figure out her remote control. How do you think she's going to do with an iPhone? Now, at that time, my mom was 92 years old and phoned me up every time she wanted to turn on the TV. So I knew exactly what this kid was talking about. And that's what they're saying. Just imagining my mom trying to figure out how to download an app on her iPhone and Bluetooth connect it to her blood pressure cuff. This isn't. So that was our aha moment, that we had to figure out a way of creating a communications channel into the homes of seniors that was accessible, engaging, and allowed them to have this open connection through which we could monitor them and we could deliver care.